Streaming now, this is Riverbank Run Race Week, live from the Wood TV Live Desk.
The 45th annual Riverbank Run is back this Saturday with a number of races, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Lasser here from the Wood TV Live Desk. Joining me this afternoon in person, Russ, Hines, and David Madiol. Gentlemen, good afternoon and happy race week.
Hey, Luke, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Let's start with each of your backgrounds and your roles here specifically. Russ, the floor is yours. 45 years. How's it feel?
Well, I haven't been here the whole 45 years. I want to make sure I point that out.
To start, yes.
Yes, exactly. So, I took over about 5 years ago, and it's been very interesting. Obviously, we've had to navigate the COVID waters, and hopefully we're past those days. We're back on the second Saturday of May, which we're very, very excited about. The streets of downtown Grand Rapids will be full of runners, whether they run the Power of 5 5K, the Fox Honda 10K, or the Fifth Third Bank 25K. It's going to be warmer than it has been in many, many years, long since before I was involved. And, we've really taken some extra precautions to make sure that everybody's safe. Our friends at Spectrum Health, our official health partner, have worked very hard to make sure that we have enough medical attention and details there that we'll be able to take care of anybody that's dehydrated or that kind of thing. We've got extra water on the course thanks to Ice Mountain, and we've purchased extra towels to soak them in ice to make sure that as the runners cross that they've got a nice cool towel. So we're trying to do everything we possibly can to make sure that it's an enjoyable experience, even though it's going to be a warm one.
Yes.
So.
And David, your role.
Yeah, so hi Luke, thanks for having us. Race director for the Amway Riverbank Run. Yeah, do you believe it? 45 years, back in 1978.
Correct.
Marty Allen and crew from Old Kent Bank started this race, and here we are 45 years later in a crazy, booming downtown Grand Rapids, which is, I think, a lot of what Marty Allen and the crew were sort of envisioning. The whole idea was bringing people downtown and creating more economic health for our fair city, and it worked. And we're super excited. Amway is super excited to be the title sponsor again this year, and looking forward to many years to come. But the weather is definitely shouldn't be an issue. I don't think. I think it's going to be a little warmer, but I think it's better than sideways snow. So we got that going for us. Yeah.
Russ, after these past 2 years, we had it on an off month last year, and then virtually the year before that. How does it feel to just be back in May like we've had, like we're used to, like the community's used to?
Well, Luke, it's been very interesting. We went on a hiatus in 2020, and now with the race just happening in October, it was a very, very quick turnaround for our team. Laura Lee Matthew and Sarah Laurent have done a wonderful job of working diligently, much more than a normal 40-hour work week, in order to make sure that we've got everything in place so that we can have a successful event. But it feels so good to be back in that normal time slot. We're seeing it on our Facebook messages and things like that. People want to be back in that time frame. They're accustomed to it. Especially the folks that are running the 25K, because you plan your entire summer out
training
about where you're going to run and how you're going to train and those types of things. And to have that, sort of placeholder on the calendar that second week of May is very, very important. Right. When we got to October last year, we had lots of folks tell us, we would have ran it, but we've already had this other commitment. So we're excited to get those folks back this year.
What has been the biggest challenge with such a quick turnaround? Because that's kind of new territory. COVID put everyone in new territory. What has that been like over the past several months of just kind of like, all right, May's coming, let's get after it?
Well, logistics was the number one. When we're trying to get supplies for the race, there were some challenges there. We were ordering things before the race in 21 for 22 to ensure that we would have things for this May. But there's been some things we've had to change and pivot on, and that's just part of what everybody's having to deal with that owns a business at this point in time. But we're excited and looking forward to being able to create a new I think, a new kind of feeling downtown. You know, we did have to do some course changes, so we're going to go back in time to almost the identical course to 1978 when the race originally started. But, you know, we're going to start up by the Calder, and we're going to end up finishing the race down in Monroe and Pearl. So it's going to be a different feel. It's going to give a lot of people the chance to set their PRs, which is very exciting. And we have a PR bell down there this year, which will be a little bit different.
Nice.
It's brought to us by Powerhouse Gyms, and it's pretty cool. It's going to be fun for a lot of people to be able to celebrate. So, but I will caution people, please, if you feel like you need to take a break because of the heat, please do so. Don't try to push yourself too hard.
David, what's one thing you're looking forward to the most this year here now that we're back in May?
Well, I think one thing this year, is this race, the course. I'm excited about sort of going back in history again. I'm sort of talking a lot about history today, but it's pretty neat that we're sort of running counterclockwise compared to where we were the past few years. But Russ and I, we have that question every year, and I think one of the best parts of the race is the finish line and hanging out at the finish line and watching these folks who have created a goal, however many months or years ago, especially with the 25K, to run this race and finish it. And then to watch the joy on their faces, or the utter exhaustion with the joy on their faces, and to high five them as they come across the finish line. That's what it's all about. It's really cool to see that, right, Russ?
It is, without question.
Yeah.
Russ, I'll ask you the same question.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good answer.
I stole your answer.
That is a great answer to follow up with. But
Yeah.
what is something you're looking forward to this year?
Well, I'm looking forward to the start of the race, and getting it going again and back in the original time slot. I think that's going to be really neat to see again. There's so many different stories as you start to talk to runners, and we start to talk to them tomorrow when we're down at the DeVos place, while they're doing their packet pickups. And you start to hear some of the stories, and then when you see them when they cross the finish line, as David mentioned, that sense of accomplishment is unbelievable. I mean, I remember the first time that I spent any substantial time at the finish line, and it was, many, many years ago. And to watch the tears and the joy and everything that David just mentioned on people's faces, it's very, very moving. And if no one's ever seen that or taken the time to come downtown and watch some of that, it's well worth it. Come on down, hang out at the finish line, watch a little bit, then go over to the DeVos place, enjoy the Finish Fest and the the Finish Fest on Saturday. Grab an ice cold beverage and just hang out and talk to people. It's a great opportunity. It's free, and the more people we have downtown, the better, we feel.
You just hit on kind of the turnaround from the race last year to May. What's one of the more underrated factors in making it come together? Maybe not just in such a quick sense, but on a normal basis prior to COVID. What's one of the more underrated factors of making this race come together on a year-to-year basis?
The logistics behind the race, I would say, without question. Every year it seems we've got to tweak it a little bit for one reason or another. Obviously, there's a lot of construction projects that are going on in Grand Rapids right now, which we love to see. We love to see the growth of Grand Rapids. But that affects our course. When they narrowed the streets a little bit at Ottawa and Lyon, we realized that we were going to have to, change our finish line. So, we've been, trying to plot out maps and courses and things like that, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort by Laura Lee and our operations team in order to be able to make it work. So we're blessed to be able to have it come together. We're blessed to be able to have the course certified by the USA Track and Field, so we can have our US 25-kilometer national championships here, which is no small feat in order to be able to do that. I know that some of the elite athletes are arriving at the hotel today. Ran into a few of them already this afternoon.
Nice.
So it's neat to see them coming in, and they're excited about the chance to set new American records on this course because they think they can run it very fast. So it's going to be fun to watch.
And how long have each of you been involved with Riverbank?
5 years for me.
5 years?
Yeah.
About 6 for me.
6.
Yeah. I think one other thing on that, Luke, though, is like all the work that's happening right now, the ballet dance that happens with our 38 committee chairs and all of their volunteers to literally get everything set, get the course out, get the no parking signs, get the boxes for all the volunteers set. It's pretty amazing what happens in the next 36 hours.
So we said beforehand, my thinking was, all right, if someone's going to run this race, any of the races, they probably have decided if they're going to do it or not. You'd said you're going to get a bunch of calls tomorrow, a bunch of people signing up. What do you tell those people now on how to sign up at this point?
Well, online registration closed last night at midnight. So
Gotcha.
In order to register now, you have to come to the DeVos place tomorrow from 11 to 8 and register in person. So you can do that. I would anticipate that we'd have someplace between 800 and 1,000 people coming and register tomorrow.
Wow.
To run either the Power 5K or the Fox Honda 10K. We probably won't get very many that'll sign up to run the 25K because they hadn't trained. There'll be a few that, are avid runners that'll say, you know what, I have trained enough. I feel like I can do it. But, we try to make sure we chat with everybody to make sure you want to run the 25K before you step into that one. But there'll be quite a few people. And then obviously the community walk. Anybody can get out and do that. We'd love to have you join us. The community walk starts at 9 o'clock on on Saturday morning. And it's a great way to get out with your family and enjoy the sunshine.
Gentlemen, anything else at this point that you'd like to share?
Russ mentioned it, but I'll reiterate, this is a community event, and we love it when the community comes down to support everybody. So the expo tomorrow is free if you want to come down and check that out. But even more importantly, I urge folks to hop in their cars, grab the kids, come on down, make it an early morning on Saturday, and pick a spot where you can cheer these folks on. And then come on down and be with us afterwards at the Finish Fest in DeVos Place, right, Russ?
Yeah, without question.
I mean, I think that it's so much, creates so much more energy for our runners. It makes them run a little faster when they have people cheering them on. So that's what I'd suggest.
Yeah. The other thing that I would say too, Luke, is that without the volunteers and without our race committee, we wouldn't have a race. We have right now well over 600 people that have volunteered to help us execute this race, and without those folks, there's just no way we can do it. So we're very, very happy to have those folks on board with us, and then the race committee. They give time throughout, and obviously a lot of time because we just did the race in October, right back doing it again, and they've donated their time and their skills and are down there working right now, trying to make sure that we're ready to go on Saturday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you tuned in maybe halfway through the stream or just now clicking in, you're watching here on Facebook, there's a link attached to it. It takes you over to woodtv.com. You can view our full conversation and all content related to the Riverbank Run right there on woodtv.com. Gentlemen, thank you both for your time.
Thank you, Luke.
Thanks, Luke.
This has been a look at the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Laster. Have a great afternoon, folks. We'll see you around.